What up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is Jordan from Jordan's Watch Chronicles. For those of you that don't know, these are my hands. Just kidding. So I'm back after a few week hiatus. I was sick for the past couple weeks. I had a really bad sinus infection, as you can hear to my voice and probably my sniffling, so I apologize in advance for that. Today we're going to be taking a look at this tiny but very action-packed 1995 Tag Heuer. Let you take a look before I jump into it. So this is the Tag Heuer Professional 2000, I believe, or the 2000 Professional. It's one or the other. It's from 1995. It is a quartz piece, as you can tell by the ticking hand, the slower ticking second hand. Old school Mercedes hands. I don't know how that copyright and patenting and all that stuff worked back in the day, because I don't know who started it. I know Rolex is known for it, but a lot of people had it back then. A lot of companies rock these hands, or the hour hand at least. So this is a two-tone model. It's obviously just probably gold-plated or electro-plated or something like that. Not real gold. I mean, if it is and I'm not aware, that'd be freaking awesome. But decided to do this because, well, this video because a couple people asked to see this, and there's not too many videos of older pieces like this, so I think it's going to be something on the channel. If I find something like at a tag sale or flea market or a good deal, I'm probably not going to pass it up, and even if I end up selling it or flipping it or giving it away to somebody in my family or one of my friends, I'll try to get a quick review in, or just an overview, just so there's some more stuff on YouTube besides Seiko and Tudor and Rolex. That's a joke. I'm not a hater. Actually, I am, but just on some things. Not when it comes to watches. So I'm going to just stop turning it around and stuff and get into some dimensions. So it's about 44 tip to tip. Let me bring it closer for you. Yeah, 44. I refuse to get the digital calipers. I don't know why, actually. I just got these because I'm cheap. And they work. So we've got 44 tip to tip. We've got diameter. You can see this case is very scalloped. It's very nice, actually. Well done. If I get it in the scallop, it's about 40, 38. That's where the listing on the website and any information on this guy, everything listed at about 38 or 37. So I'm getting about 38 and a half across the scallop part. If you do from the 9 to the 3, which I've talked about in some videos, straight across all the way to the crown, you got 42, which is still not very large. So, you know, smaller watches were in back then, back in the 90s and 80s. It's a very nice piece. Yeah, so the 9 to 3 that I've talked about is the measurement of where the actual crown will hit on the back of your wrist. So if it's a wider watch, obviously you don't have as much wrist flexion and free motion and stuff, because you're going to get, you know, bumped back there, unless you wear your watch way up here. But as you can see from my tan line, I usually wear it right over here, just before the little knuckle bone here. Sometimes directly on it, but mostly right back here is where my sweet spot is. Smaller, this I would probably rock loose. The only thing is I didn't get it with extra links, so it's stuck. I'll show you when I put the wrist shot. When I put it on my wrist, you'll see where it sits, and it doesn't really wiggle or move at all. But yeah, so it's quartz piece, so it's going to be thin. Let's check. You can see side profile. This thing is held up for being almost 30 years old. Barely any big scratches or dents or anything. Crown guards are nice. They just protect it. A little hard to manipulate this crown, but it's, I mean, what do you expect? It's tiny. It's a smaller piece. I feel like this would have been a statement piece back then. Gold is always, you know, hey, look at me. It's never something quiet, I don't think. So, being two-tone and it's a sports watch, it's more a little flashy. Let's see if we get right onto the top of the bezel to the bottom of the case. We've got 9.8, just about 9, yeah, 9.8, 9.5, 9.8 millimeters, so not even 10 millimeters thick. So that's crazy. This thing's crazy comfortable. Let me show you a little bezel action. It's got a 60 click bezel, aligns perfectly. Still sounds good, still ratchets, very nice. Lines up, a little bit of play, but I mean, can't hate on it for the age and the, you know, the value proposition. I mean, you can find these all day under 500 bucks. I got this for well under that. Probably not going to keep it. I've had it for about a couple months. Worn it a few times. I went through a vintage bit of a frenzy. Bought a few, you know, an older Seiko, this. I have my old Citizen, a couple Casios, and then I realized that I don't need that many older watches. I don't wear them as much, so I gave a couple away to my brother, my dad. Flipped a couple. So this one's not going to stay, unfortunately. But, I mean, if you get a chance to grab one of these and this is your you know, bread and butter, definitely take a look. It's not going to lose too much value if you buy it at like a 300, 250, 400 mark. I'm talking in US dollars terms, of course. Yeah, so just to recap, 44 lug to lug, 38.5 diameter, 42 straight across, 9 to 3 including crown, and just under 10 millimeter thick. Oh, we've got a, let's see, I think 20 millimeter lug width. Struggle to do this because it's hard to look and put it on camera. Yes, 20 millimeter lug width. Let's do a quick wrist shot. So I didn't get any extra links with this, unfortunately. See, I struggle a little bit to put it over the wrist, over the hand. Just snaps right on. Very secure clasp still. This thing is not going anywhere. So that's it. Just over 7-inch wrist. I'd say 7 1/8 if I'm being particular or specific. Doesn't look too small. You can see it's got a little bit of AR, a good amount of AR on the crystal actually. It's a flat sapphire. You can see quartz ticking. It almost hits all the indices. That doesn't really bother me when quartz watches don't. You can't expect them to. Sorry, just banged into my camera stand. This thing's very accurate though. I mean, it's quartz, so they're mostly going to be accurate. I had it on the wrist for maybe 4 or 5 days, and I don't think I lost a second on that in that time frame. So I mean, it's keeping time very well. Date clicks over and everything. It's a good piece. Just give you a quick wrist roll. As you can see, the clasp is engraved. So I think this was like a company gift from some company, Silicon Graphics, 1995. That's their logo. I looked it up. They're on Wikipedia. I think it's something else by now, but pretty cool. Someone probably got this as a gift at a Christmas party or a, you know, like a bonus or something like that. Pretty cool to think of the stories and the backgrounds behind these watches. These little tiny machines on our wrists. One thing I noticed, which is pretty cool, it's got the tag, little tiny tag shield right here on the flip lock. It's, you know, pushes through the underneath. Just a press clasp. It's polished out, secure enough. I mean, can't ask for much more. Everybody was doing press clasp back then anyway. It's got a diver's extension actually, 3 micro adjust. So the diver's extension, you pull it out from underneath and then you just unhook it. Gives you about another 1/2 inch, a little more. So it'll fit me more comfortably, and probably up to a 7 1/4 inch wrist. And you just flip it back under, squeeze. That didn't really click really nicely. Doesn't really click really nicely, but it's in there, it's secure. It doesn't just pop out. You gotta go in there and flip it. The pins are just screws. They're very small. You can see there. These are folded links. Actually, you can tell if you look really closely. I'm actually just noticing that. You can see a little divot there, and there. So folded steel links. Nice case back. I mean, this thing's in great shape, I think, if I do say so myself. That's the model number, reference number, if you want to look it up, WE1122-2. If you type that in, a bunch of colorways, a bunch of different dials, and straight steel or all gold, and different indices show up. But this, essentially, it's the same watch. So nice, like that sound. So I mean, that's that. I'm gonna do a quick loom shot and throw it in at the end. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for sticking around. Thank you for bearing with me and my sniffling. Here you go, guys. Loom shot as promised. It's not as dark as I would like to see here in my closet. You can kind of see the transition. It's green. It's decent, not too strong anymore. Almost 30 years old, so can't expect too much out of it. But it is there. One last time, just want to say thanks to you guys. Make sure you comment and give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you feel like it. I would appreciate it. Like meeting new people, like connecting with new watch folk. If you are interested or have an Instagram and you feel like seeing some mediocre wrist shots and some decent memes, decent watch memes, my Instagram is @TheRelentlessTime, so I'll see you over there, or I'll see you in the comments under here. I'm gonna just drop in a quick loom shot, and this is me signing off. Thank you guys. I'll see you in the next one.